is what it looked like in that time period in the 1830s. But we know that this is an original, I wouldn't be touching it. But also, knowing that the Johnsons would be very excited to see this, Ezra Booth presented it to the family. And knowing that their 19-year-old son, Luke Johnson, had just joined a new faith in Kirtland as a result of reading this book. And so, in having desire to read it themselves, the parents and the other children, as well as their preacher, were able to sit around the table just like this and read it the whole night. They said they couldn't put it down because of what it contained. So after reading stories about Jesus Christ coming to the Americas and about the testimonies of the ancient prophets of old in the Americas, we know that they were able to know that the Book of Mormon was the Word of God and that it was another testament of Jesus Christ. And so in having a desire to see the prophet who translated this book, and knowing that Joseph Smith was in Kirtland at the time, they traveled a day and a half ride on a horse and buggy to go to Kirtland. This probably will take you an hour to get there, an hour for you to come here. But we know also that as they went inside the Salem home, inside the parlor room there was many preachers of different faiths talking about subjects of religion. And one such subject came up about spiritual gifts. And so one person said, well, what about the spiritual gifts the apostles of old had in Jesus Christ's time to heal the sick and heal the lame? Do you think anybody could be able to have that power today? Someone else said, well, here's Alice Elsa Johnson with a lame arm. Do you think anybody could be able to heal her today with that same power? So it was here where Joseph Smith heard this. And in a couple of minutes, the conversation changed. But another couple of minutes, Joseph Smith was seen to cross the room over to Alice Elsa Johnson. And he put his hand on her arm. And he said in the most solemn and impressive manner, he said, woman, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command thee to be whole. It's amazing that right after that, he just walked out of the room. So can you imagine yourselves being there and seeing this happen? You know, at the next moment, everyone was able to see Alice Elsa Johnson, just in the corner there, raise her hand up to her head like she never could before. And it was the first miracle that was seen in all of Ohio, that occurred in all of Ohio, and also in Kirtland. And Alice, being very excited to know that the power to act in the name of God was given again through a prophet of God in our day, was here on the earth for all of us to benefit from that priesthood power. So it's amazing how excited she was to share this with her family and their friends here in Hiram. So after being baptized, the Johnson invited Joseph Smith and his family to stay in this home here, in the next room, right over here. And also Sidney Rigdon just to stay in a small log cabin right across the road there. You know, that he was a scribe. So it's amazing what happened in the Whitney home. Do you have a question, Melissa?
The curtains were there.
These curtains?
They wouldn't have any shaders on the side. They wouldn't.
This is where Joseph and Emma stayed. The night he was taken and tarred and feathered. They stayed in here often. The mobbers came in and took them out there somewhere.
I would make it because the sleeping building that was with him said that it was hours long and just sat so that it would disturb the spirit and just sat.
This right here. This is the dormitory. I'm going to show you in here. This is where they'd have some different sleeping arrangements for missionaries and for other people who were staying here since the church was headquartered here for a little while. and Joseph Smith received.
We have had.
Color coordinating and everything. Look at that. Just
You know, what do you expect?
nothing less.
They say sometimes Sabbath meetings here at Johnson's home. A gallery was constructed in the front yard to accommodate attending service. Smith and other church leaders preach from the front steps. Meetings, especially in inclement weather, which means bad weather, were also held in the South Schoolhouse, which is located about 1 mile east of here. You know, if you look at this, Joseph would stand up on these steps and the gallery, and the people would come and sit here on the I don't know if it's grass or lawn or what it was.
We're in Kirtland, historic Kirtland. Just saw a film. Ellie's having a hard time. There's a water wheel up there, like a mill or something like that. It's kind of cool. Ellie's back here having a tough time. You can hear her. It's not the wolves.
We're really able to help the church get going and organize here in Kirtland. They often provided financial means and other sources in order to allow the organization to get going. But one way that we show their wealth today is by putting it out on the outside of their home. Most people can't afford paying a general, let alone to go outside of their home. So first we're going to their home.
Isn't that cute? Not as cute as the white one.
No, I like that. I like the symphonies. I like those pillars. I like these pillars and then just the gatework.
Punch that on them. And this is because each family had a different pattern lantern. And that way they knew who was coming down the street at night because of the light that would shine through the lantern. So they could identify different families walking toward each other at night. Do you have a question? Yeah.
There's two that are the same.
That we have here of Joseph Smith. And what I treated is to come in here and just try picture Joseph Smith sitting in here with the counselor on each side as he would translate, and also as he would record revelation that was received in here. There's so much to take in and to be learning, not only from the translation of the Bible, but also because 17 sections of the Doctrine and Covenants were received in here. Here for a small prayer meeting in the morning and about 6 minutes later to work at the sawmill, while the rest of the but I'll explain how this works. Explain it very simply, because that's the only way that I understand it. But when the early saints were here, they diverted the stream. Remember, we walked over the Stony Brook. They diverted the stream and they built a reservoir of water about behind where this bridge sits. Today we don't divert the stream, but the water is all filtered through a tank underneath under the ground. But you can see that the water fills the raceway here, and it hits the buckets of the wheel. The water hits the buckets of the wheel, fills those buckets, and the weight of the water carries the wheel around. And this is what powers the entire sawmill. It's what powers the saw blade going up and down. It's what powers the tools in the finishing room. It almost looks like the water's not even moving, doesn't it? But it actually is. And it takes a very steady flow of water to keep the wheel turning. Typically, they would start the wheel in the morning. It takes a lot of water to initially start it, and then they'd run it all day long. Because it only takes that steady flow once it starts. very big money maker for him. And I'll explain the process and you'll see how and why. But you can see that northern Ohio is very dense with trees, a lot of hardwood trees. And as men were coming through here clearing their land for farmland, they were left over with a lot of ash as they would burn the trees down. So that's one way that they could collect the ash. Another way is by going door to door, collecting the ash from the housewives, as they'd produce a lot of ash right there in their own homes. But they would bring the ashes here, and in the ash hoppers, which are these large funnels behind me, they would put sticks at the bottom crossing each other. And on top of the sticks, they put about 6 inches of hay. And together this formed a filter for them. On top of the filter, they filled the rest about 2/3 full of ash, and then on top of the ash, they filled the rest of it with water. And they would take a large stick like the one you see at the top here, and they would poke holes in the ash, causing all the water to trickle down and seep through. And it would be about 2 to 3 days for all the water to seep through, and it would come out the bottom into buckets below, a brown gooey substance called lye. And so what happened is all the water leached out the alkali that was in the ash. Some of the lye was mixed with animal fat and turned into lye soap, a very caustic soap, very rough to your skin. But about 90% of the lye was taken on to a further process of heating, which took place right down here. They would put the lye into these large cauldrons, and 2 men would stand here for 12 to 15 hours stirring. This would not be a very fun job as it would be so hot. As the lye touched your skin, it would burn your skin. And so they wore heavy leather aprons and these leather gloves. The tools they used were very heavy. But one man would begin chipping away the sides as it would harden to the sides, and the other would scrape the crust that would form on top as all the impurities of the lye would raise to the surface. Over the 15-hour process, eventually it would all solidify or harden into a substance called potash. This isn't real potash. If we had real potash, your skin would still be sensitive enough to it if you touched it. But this resembles it. But potash was used as an ingredient in several things. Some examples: gunpowder, fertilizer, and making a different kind of soap, and making paper. And can you guess how much money Mule Cave would even make off of 1 barrel of potash? What do you think? You think so?
No, I think 100,000 maybe.
Wow. He actually made about $50 off of a barrel of potash, which is a lot of money, especially for him, for them back then. I don't know the cost of it, but he was making a lot of good money. There's an example of a barrel over in the corner. There's no barrel there. But with one more process of heating, they came up with a material that was worth even more. And so if you want to follow me down to the end, about 60 hours to heat up, and it needed to be at least 1,000 degrees. So it gives you a sense of the temperature in here. They needed all these open windows in order to keep it as cool as possible. But the potash would immediately turn red and then eventually turn white, kind of like you see out in front of the cooling slab. But the final product here is called pearl ash. And pearl ash was used as an ingredient in certain medications, also in making glass. And Mule Cave Whitney could sell a barrel of pearl ash for anywhere from $100 to $200. With the extra process of heating, it was refined even more, and the impurities were completely burned out. But especially for his time, he really was making a lot of money. And as a faithful member of the church, Joseph Smith asked him to turn his ashery over to the church, to be completely consecrated. And I don't know as though that would be such a simple thing to do, but he was willing to do this because he knew that it would benefit the gospel of the church. And the church in turn used the money in helping to print the 2nd edition of the Book of Mormon, the 1st edition of the Doctrine and Covenants, and of course in helping to build the temple right up the hill. And so these things are accomplished a lot greatly because of the money that was earned through the ashery. Do you have a question?
So, can Mr. Whitney own this?
He did.
And
the store.
He didn't own the sawmill?
Joel Hills Johnson owns the sawmill.
Are we going home now? No, we're still visiting.
So this road right here actually would have been right there. The temple's up over the crest of the hill. The trees are in the
Are
way.
we going to the temple?
We're gonna go have dinner now.
And then can we see if we can do this one?
What time is it?
Green doors, pretty green doors. This is smack in the middle of the main street, which is right here. Goes right in front of it. That would have been some of the different, that building there over there is original. So this was pretty much as it is right here. Colin, he's our guide, he's great. Pretty.
Back for just a second. Hey, sit down. Yep. Look at me. Okay.
Let me see. Let me see.
We'll watch them when we get home.
This was the original road actually that came into from Kirtland. Came right up here. I have that trail that we were just on up by the log house, or the log school house. It's gorgeous country.